You're listening to the Why Boarding School podcast, broadcasting around the world. Join us as we promote independent boarding schools throughout the United States and Canada with our invited guests. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jeffrey Quebec.
Welcome to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Admissions at the Linsly School in Wheeling, West Virginia, R.J. Zitzelsberger. Welcome, R.J. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks for having us, Jeff. I'm excited to do this.
Great. So with a rich history dating back to its founding in 1814, the Linsly School is known as the oldest preparatory school west of the Alleghenies. R.J., perhaps you can start off by giving our audience a brief overview of the number of students at the Linsly School, the grades you offer, where the students come from, etc.
Yeah, so we're unique by design. We are a boarding school. We actually enroll grades 5 through 12, but we only board 7 through 12. So we have a day population and a boarding population, which is semi-unique to us. We do have about 400 students in our school currently. Our makeup of our students is there's about 300 day students and roughly about 100 boarding students. We're fortunate to be located in a safe place in between the states of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, located mostly near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as most people recognize. Our boarding students mostly come from 25 different countries currently and 8 different states.
Oh, that's great. And so what's the academic curriculum like at the Linsly School?
Yeah, so it's kind of what we made our fame for. I mean, being around 210 years, academic excellence has been our what we strive for. And it's morphed into different things from a curricular standpoint because I think children's needs have changed, especially since COVID. Some need caught up, some need pushed, some need just refreshers. So our curriculum is really designed to meet the student where they're at. So, we have the challenging courses from advanced placement courses in 16 different subjects that students can take and earn college credit at the end of it. All our other classes are truly honor level courses that are really challenged. We've designed some other curriculum to use more hands-on, different type of assessments, really trying to make sure that there is a real-world application to a lot that we do. And at the heart of our curriculum is being small by design. I mean, obviously, you heard the number of students we have. Classrooms are small with 12 to 14, and our students really have the opportunity to get to know their teachers, and the teachers get to know the students for their strengths and their weaknesses. And
RJ, can you talk a little bit about the academic support and specifically the aviator program that Linsly offers?
Yeah, it's really unique to us, and a lot of people laugh because when we say the aviator program, they think they can learn to fly. So we really play on it though a little bit because we talk about giving our kids wings and the ability to grow. So the academic support, it's really a role that all of us play, from the boarding department to coaches to advisors, and then at the heart of it is the aviator program where, if a student needs a smaller atmosphere to learn and to get extra help, that group, there's 7 periods in our class days, and there's about 8 to 10 sections, 8 students in each of those sections. So they really can get individual help in math, English, science, all the way through. And then from the aviator program, it branches out to our prefect system, which allows our students to do peer tutoring. And then from there, if the peer tutoring doesn't work, then we schedule time for our faculty members. And the beauty, again, of boarding school is we have 25 faculty members and their families that live on campus, so there's always someone around that's willing to lend a helping hand to these students who might need it.
The peer tutoring certainly seems like a great opportunity for your students to be involved in the process.
It's fantastic. It's fascinating. I'm blessed to be an alum and have a child that's here, and currently my son is a peer tutor. And to hear other parents talk about your child in a way of, what they've done to help their own kid, powerful from that standpoint.
Yeah, very much so. And can you tell me a little bit about the visual and performing arts offerings at Linsly School?
Yeah, so again, it's, small boarding schools, you don't always think about all the programs or all the extras they have. And our visual arts, we actually have our own separate building, the Williams Visual Arts Center. It was built back in 1999. I was a mere sophomore here at the time when it was built. It seems so new to me. It's 3 floors. We have a ceramic studio in the bottom, a studio art in the middle, and then we have advanced portfolio design up in the third floor that they've kind of made their own home. On top of that, we've brought a pep band back to help. We offer 2 school plays that we've done, and we're really, we've hired some really great teachers to replace some former teachers to really help build these programs. I mean, again, I coach football here as well, and to hear the pep band walk down through our campus before a game, and it's not huge, they're small by design as well, so they're getting opportunities. But at the same time, with all our visual arts and performing arts, a lot of kids are finding time to balance this, but we have really a unique opportunity because we have a no cut, no quit policy in all of our extracurricular activities. So if we have a musical and someone's not a great singer but wants to have the opportunity to be involved and say they had that opportunity, they have to try out, but they're going to find a role. Our teachers are going to find a role for them and get them involved, whether it be stage crew, direction, or holding a prop, whatever it might be, or they may be the lead. So it's really exciting for us.
Or I imagine they may eventually grow into that lead if they don't, they don't get selected.
So I speak from experience. I was asked to be in a musical, and I cannot sing. But they were setting me up because the theater teacher knew exactly what play they were going to do the following year, and they needed a person that I guess I fit the mold. So again, it's where our teachers really get to know our students and are always looking out. And now again, from a public speaking standpoint, it's helped me immensely. So those little things that people don't realize, visual art. And again, I think what is great about our art program, it ties to our mission. So our ceramics teacher who teaches pottery, and I don't know if you've ever done pottery, but centering a piece of pottery is very difficult. It's not the easiest thing to do at all. But he relates it to life about, you got this slab of clay and you're trying to center it, but if it's not perfect, it's not going to go as high as you want it to be and as perfect as you want. But when it falls, what are you going to do? Are you going to pick the pieces back up and start over? And he just really relates it to our mission and how forward thinking our curriculum and our teachers are.
What an awesome analogy. I love it.
Yeah.
So in addition to, say, the Aviator program, are there any other special signature programs that are offered at the Linsly School?
So we've started a few in the middle school and the high school. We've started a more of a STEAM program to deliberately address collaborative learning, hands-on experience, working across the curriculum in the middle school. They've done some neat, really things like they've designed dresses out of paper plates. That's been one of their projects a year. And then one of the major ones is to create a superhero costume out of recycled materials. We were fortunate enough to have a 8th grade young man design an Iron Man costume last year out of Sychard and win the state competition for that, which was exciting for us. And then we've designed a leadership program in our upper school, and it's been deliberately designed to connect our current students with local alums and even alums that are close enough to be able to come speak or talk about where they've gotten and how they've gotten there. And the highlight of it is our head of school actually teaches the 9th grade leadership program. So they're getting direct interaction with the head of school, and it's great because he gets to know the students more. And so when they get to become seniors and juniors and they need letter recommendations written, he can really address to the heart for them. So those are really the 2 programs that I think have really set us a little more apart in our local area. The rest of our programs really are, the prefect system that we have it's not so much unique to the boarding world, but to where we're located west of Appalachia, it is.
Okay. And how about athletics? Is every student required to play a sport at Linsly School?
Yeah, so athletically, we offer over 22 athletic programs. And really what we're trying to do in there is connect our mission. But we have fall and winter sports and spring sports as well. In the fall we have soccer, American football, volleyball, cross country, golf. In the winter we have bowling, ice hockey, basketball, swimming, wrestling. In the spring we have track and field, tennis, lacrosse, baseball, softball. So there's a lot of offerings for our students. Fun statistic for us is at least 86% of our students participate in at least one sport. We don't have a set requirement, so it's awesome to see our kids get out and get involved. The other piece of it is we have great success. Our volleyball team made it to the championship of the conference this year. Our basketball team has won national prep tournament 2 years in a row. 2 years ago, our American football team was 9-1. Baseball team has tons of OVAC championships. Our swimming program, since 1943, I think has the most swim championships. Now it's a little stretched because we were one of the only schools that had a pool for a while.
That's okay.
But again, from an athletic standpoint, what our goal is athletically is to, again, match our mission of growth and allowing kids to continue to play and participate in these sports. We want kids to not see high school sports as a means to an end or just about winning championships. We want these kids that if they have a passion for it, to be able to go off and go to an NAI, a Division III, Division II, Division I school and participate. And we take great pride. We have a little bit over 40 students currently playing multiple sports at all of those levels. And it's just not one sport that's feeding them. We have some highlights this year. We've had a cross-country runner already signed. We've had 2 basketball players, a girl and a boy, already signed. Football players already signed. So it's just exciting for us to see and watch these kids grow from a young age to where they are now.
That's certainly quite impressive. So we're going to do RJ's. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to learn more about the Linsly School in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Do you have any questions or guests that you'd like to see on an upcoming Why Boarding School podcast? You can contact us directly through our website at whyboardingschool.com. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and I'm joined by the Director of Admissions of the Linsly School in Wheeling, West Virginia, R.J. Zitzelsberger. And R.J., as we continue our conversation, I guess I'd like to find out what's a typical school day like at the Linsly School?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, from a boarding standpoint, our students have some independence. They have to wake up at whatever time it is for them to get fully ready and dressed in their uniform and be at breakfast no later than 8 a.m. in the morning. Their school day starts officially at 8:20 with their first class. We have a unique schedule because we have only 5 class periods to the day, and it's a rotating schedule. So teachers see our students at different times of the day for those classes. There's a 30-minute lunch, and then they have about a 30-minute advisor period as a morning break. And then the day ends at 3 p.m. For a boarding student after school, 3:30 to 5:30 is that extracurricular window of athletics, arts, community service, whatever extra activity they may be performing in, with a 6 p.m. dinner. We all have dinner in the cafeteria together as a boarding group, and you'll see some day students come and hang out with our boarding students and eat on campus because they have friends in that group, which is really neat to see that relationship develop. Dinner typically ends 6:30, 6:45, and then there's free time. We open up our weight room and our gym for our students to go over, and then we have a structured study hall from 7:30 to 9 for all of our students. And there's ways to get in and out of that study hall. Obviously, if you're a first honor student, you have some more freedom than if you're not an honor student and so forth. But we also offer a more structured study hall during that time period for students who want to go to our library, and it's typically under direction of a teacher. And then after that, from 9 to around 10:30, they have free time to hang out with their friends, be in the dorms, doing things that teenagers and young adolescents do. And then 11 p.m., it's lights out. And their schedule is, there's always someone, a faculty member around. There's always a duty team that's in, so there's always contact with faculty and students at all times.
And how about the weekends? What are the weekends like at the Linsly School? Are there a lot of events on campus, trips off campus, different clubs, activities?
Again, what we try to ask our students what they're looking and hoping to do. Obviously, when you and I were their age, what was fun was a little bit different. But there are some things that still relate. Bowling is one of the activities that it still brings groups together and makes them laugh and smile. But we're fortunate. We're trying to provide all of our students a unique experience. So we want them to support their classmates. So we will take them to sporting events. Like if our football team plays on a Friday night and it's close, we'll bus students to be able to see. We play some teams that have thousands of people at their games, and it's very unique to especially our international families who are not used to such atmospheres for such high school sports. But because we're located near the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, Columbus, Ohio, we have a lot of amenities at a metropolitan city. So, we can go to museums. We can go see professional sports. We can go find different cultural experiences, different foods that are out there. But then at the same time, we're able to return back to our campus, which, is a safe, secluded setting here a little bit in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Yeah, very nice. And RJ, you mentioned dinner earlier and that the day students are arriving, so I assume the food must be pretty good. And what are the meals like? Is it sit down? Is it buffet style? Are they required? How does that work?
So it is. We have 19 meals a week, which is during the school day. So there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and then there's brunch and dinner on the weekends. Meals are required unless they're off campus or checked out. That's our way of checking in and making sure everybody's doing well and in good health. Food here, our dining staff, Lexington Food, has done a fantastic job of really asking the students, what are they looking for, especially because we have so many different backgrounds, and students have come from a place where their food has all been made different. So we've provided a lot of more options but it is typically still sit down, but they'll go through buffet style. We only have a couple formal nights where it would be that students would wait on one another, but pretty much it's all conversation. It's all about, again, interaction, and we have faculty that are eating at dinner tables with students, engaging them, finding out more about. We celebrate birthdays during that time, and we do a really great job of trying to create an atmosphere that is inclusive to everybody.
Yeah, very nice. And how about dorm life? What's dorm life like at the Linsly School?
Yeah, it's unique from a standpoint. We have four dormitories, 2 male, 2 female. Hopefully we're in the process that the next time I speak with you, I'll be talking about another dormitory, a brand new one. It's one of our capital campaigns coming up for sure. But boarding life, what it's about is the community, creating relationships that are going to carry you and last you well beyond your years of Linsly. We like to coin the phrase that you never really graduate from here, that it's always part of your life. And I can speak, I've been here for 12 years now, and it's amazing to see the students that come back and the relationships that have been forged over the years, no matter if they're an international student or a student that lived 10 minutes away from here. But in that boarding life, you'll see on a daily basis students hanging out, playing video games together. You'll see kids that are from different countries, different ages, out playing soccer, developing common bonds that they don't realize how far it's going to carry them in life. I'm spoiled to be able to live on this campus and see this for a firsthand. And sometimes it's really hard for a parent to understand the benefits of these lifelong connections and the community. I think the biggest thing that boarding life at Linsly entails is this creation of balance. It balances the academic world with the extracurricular world and the social world, developing these time management skills that kids can carry on for the rest of their life, even when they become adults.
So speaking about sort of those connections and relationships, is there an advisor system at the Linsly School?
There is, and it's multifaceted by the sense that there is a daily advisor. So they would have, during the day, every student has an advisor that is a faculty member. But then they also have a dorm advisor. So they're going to have another set of hands, another voice to listen to. That dorm advisor is going to be the one that probably checks more on how's their living conditions, or how's their tidiness of their room. Are they washing their clothes? Are they understanding how to get up on time and set an alarm, and just little things, where the faculty advisor is more going to talk about curriculum, scheduling the appropriate classes, talking future. What are your goals? Are you headed? Do you plan to head back to home after you're done at Linsly? Do you plan to go to a college? Do you plan to enter the working world? Like whatever their future goals may entail. And I think the advisor system is great from the standpoint of letter recommendations that we write, and it showcases. The other thing our advisor period does that is really unique is twice a year we write on the report cards paragraph. Typically it's about 1,000 words about how the students adjusted, how they're doing in class, so parents can have an understanding of what we're seeing and the growth that the student is showing, so that when parents have conversations with their children about school, it's not so much the old adage of them having to be the educator. They're now getting to be more of what I call a cheerleader from the standpoint. I think it really, what it's all says and does, it basically allows the parent and student relationship to be that much better, because the conversations now have a lot more to it than just do this, do that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's great. Would you say there's a typical Linsly School student?
Yeah, it's something I've thought out for 12 years now of debating on how I'd answer this question. And I get asked it a lot. And I would say, no, there's not just a typical student. There's just some values, I think, and some characteristics that these students have to have. Academics has been a big push for us, and character is too. So, academically, you have to be willing to work. And our students have to have a work ethic to be able to work hard, not only just in the classroom and out of the classroom, but at the same time, we hold our students to a pretty high standard. We challenge them, we hold them accountable, and it's something I think that the adolescents and youth of today really need and actually want more than a lot of people think. I think they love to be praised when they're doing the right things, but they also like to know that people care. That when we see them not doing the right thing or something that is to their standard or their level of ability, that we're willing to have that conversation and treat them like an adult. And I think that's what makes our kids, especially Linsly students, more unique than others. And at the same time of those, I think they have to be willing to step out of their comfort zone, try new things, especially in a safe environment like boarding schools are, where you can try something and you have peers that are going to celebrate you and have fun with it. And I think it's just a great atmosphere to join and be able to be that kind of person.
And it definitely seems like there's many new things to try at the Linsly School based on our conversation here so far.
I mean, yeah, you can do a lot, and that's like, one of our long time, my former basketball coach who's still on campus here, he talks about us being just a one-stop shop for so many. Everything's right here. Our school's here, your friends are here, the fields are here, everything is right here at your fingertips to be able to take advantage of.
That's great. So are there any cool traditions at the Linsly School that may be unique from other schools, or perhaps there's that one tradition you hope always remains part of the school?
Yeah, so there are a couple that, one of the biggest ones is we hold an extravaganza. It's a kind of a variety show that happens every year at the end of February, and it leads right into spring break for us. But what it is all of our students, all 400 students and our faculty members are involved in this. Some are in novelty acts. They get up on stage and perform a routine, to the culmination of a senior act that as a senior class, you're upstage performing. We take this at the Capitol Theater here in Wheeling, West Virginia, and it's packed. The local community comes, our parents come, and it's something where if you asked a former Linsly student, hey, what was your first act on stage? Most of them who started in the 5th grade were animals. So like my son who started in the 5th grade here, he was a penguin. My co-worker's daughter was an alligator. So like it's just something unique that you can talk about, and sometimes only Linsly alums get. So that's really a unique tradition. The other one is kind of a Linsly lifer tradition, and it's tough for a boarding student. So we've kind of the Linsly lifer for a boarding student would be someone who started in 7th grade. They would be here for 6 years. So it would be unique to have, and we've only had like 1 or 2 of those in my time. But to see their growth and be able to talk and tell their story is truly remarkable.
It's awesome. You got to bring them on for the part of the admissions team.
Well, it's funny you say that. We take great pride in our alum, and we have about 17% of our faculty are Linsly alums, myself included. And living on campus, I joke with people all the time. I get paid to do something I love. I mean, this is a lifestyle for me. This is not a job, interacting with these kids. I have students, I had to kick them out of my office to do this, and they were upset with me. So I take pride that we have that relationship, that they want to be around us and
Certainly
talk.
A good feeling.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
RJ, before we speak about the admissions process, is there anything about the Linsly School that we didn't discuss today that you'd like to mention?
Some things that I think that a lot of people don't understand a little bit is it's the boarding world of, most people are used to hearing boarding schools in the New England area. Many think of people attending a boarding school in West Virginia. We were founded before the state of West Virginia. We were actually founded in Wheeling, Virginia in 1814. What's unique to us is we break the mold. We're very transformational from the standpoint of West Virginia is not known to be one of the best educational states when you do any of your research. But what Linsly does is raises that standard. It raises the bar, as we are the #1 boarding school in the state of West Virginia. We're providing something to students in our state, in our surrounding area, that they really can't find unless they travel, get on a plane, it's a 6-7 hour drive for that part. So we're really proud of being an innovative institution from that standpoint, and providing these kids the opportunities that they want more, and are striving for more. And I think that's what our community creates, the personal attention we create. The only other thing that I will say that makes us unique is when a lot of people look at us and see that we're a day boarding school, they wonder, are they getting a true boarding experience because there's a day population? Our day families love the diversity, love the backgrounds that are bought, the cultures that are brought in by our boarding. So the relationship that's forged between these day families and the things that I've seen, I could tell story upon story about students from the Wheeling, West Virginia area going to visit families in Finland, Croatia, China. Like it's a twofold, it's a two-way street. And then we're taking kids. One of our families had a basketball player from Montenegro, and they took in, so over Christmas break, almost every year for 4 years straight. And now that kid, when he comes into the area, that's who he goes and sees. He goes, that's like his second family. So I think what's unique is not only are they getting a boarding experience, but they're going to have a chance to potentially be with a host family where they're getting to see what American culture is really like, especially for international
students. That seems like that's a win for both, obviously, the boarding student, but also for the day student and their family.
Oh, it's fascinating. Again, I can speak. I live on campus, and my son's becoming that age where now the boarding students are coming into my house and hanging out in our basements, and just to hear the stories. It's funny to hear for the first time when your child realizes that not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving.
Yeah, sure.
And they're dumbfounded by it at first, but then they start talking about the other holidays and traditions that they have. And my wife, who was not fortunate enough to attend a boarding school, we have the Festival of Lights here in Oglebay. We're fortunate to have some great facilities nearby, and we take our students through these lights. It's a driving tour of about 30 minutes. But then you start to hear stories about, like, our German student who talks about they go into soccer stadiums of 16,000 people and they sing Christmas carols together. So you're learning about all these traditions, and it's funny that lights bring this up.
And that the learning continues beyond the classroom, right? Within the community.
Oh my, way beyond. And that's the other, like, we bring so much diversity and so much variety to our community here in Wheeling, West Virginia, that what we do from an outreach standpoint of helping, at the 16th Street Center here, to, providing opportunities for our kids to get out in the community and build their resume and differentiate themselves from their peers, it's remarkable.
So RJ, if someone's interested in the Linsly School, how might they go about starting the admissions process?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great question. And I always encourage, the website is the best. We've spent countless hours updating our website and making sure there's information relevant to all parties on there. The other piece is reach out to us, email us, call us. We love to set up times to speak to families. We always encourage families to start the paper process first, just because everything else can follow. But if they're local, if they're close enough, if they're able to visit, visiting our campus it's truly something you have to see, just because we're on about a 50-acre campus, secluded from the city limits of our school. There's still plenty around, but just to interact with our people and see. I always joked about the Midwest hello. Like, when you're in the Midwest, for some reason it feels like everybody says hi to you, everybody waves to you, and everybody, it seems like everybody cares, and it's really unique to go on a campus tour with myself or my assistant and just watch the students ask, "Hey, who are you? Where'd you come from? What grade are you entering?" And a lot of these families think that we stage this, and we haven't. Our kids are just generally used to seeing visitors and having new students start at their school, and they're excited about it because they don't know what their story is and they don't know what value they'll add, but they know it'll be something for sure.
So RJ, I know you referenced the school website, and what is that website address for our audience members?
The website is www.linsly.org. And you go straight to that website. It plays our admissions welcome video. We talk about the road less traveled here a little bit, because boarding school is a unique concept for a lot of domestic families, especially. Internationally, it's a little more common, boarding school for sure. But here, in the U.S., we don't always think about sending our students to boarding schools. And in large part, I think it's because of a lot of the media out there that has created reasons why people should go to boarding school, and they're not always the right ones, where I think there are reasons that definitely it provides a complete different, unique educational experience that is more than just books and content.
Very much so. Well said. Well, I appreciate it, RJ. This has been great. I've enjoyed our conversation today, and thank you very much as we've learned more about the Linsly School. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. I'm very passionate about our school, and I think we have a great little community here that more people should take a look at.
Nice. R.J. Zitzelsberger, Director of Admissions at the Linsly School in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Thank you for listening to the Why Boarding School podcast. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode. Please remember to subscribe to the Why Boarding School podcast and help us spread the word. Until next time.